We have Liam Wall, and he's gonna teach us how to get rich. He's a senior at Culver City High School, and he's very involved in our school community. He's the president of Mock Trial, the vice president of the chess club, and is on the varsity soccer team. He began investing in 2017 and plans to major in finance after graduating. His presentation is titled The Simple Path to Wealth, so please enjoy our final presentation.
He's so charming.
Oh, you too. Has heard of the stock market. Alright, keep your hands raised if you yourself or someone you know is invested in the stock market. Alright, so that's most everyone here. For those of you who don't know, the stock market is where you go to buy and sell shares of a publicly traded company. And when you buy a share, you own a small piece of that company. And you get to take part in the growth of that company. Now, I started researching and investing in 2017, and I've been doing it pretty much continuously since then, and I plan to do it for my career. And along the way, I've learned a couple truths that I would like to share with you now. The first one is that the market always goes up. Now, don't misinterpret what I say to mean that the market goes up every day, or even that the market goes up every year. But I mean, over time, the stock market as a whole always goes up. But there's a catch. And the catch is that over time, most people will lose money in the stock market. And that's kind of a paradox, because how can, over time, the stock market always go up, but most people lose money? Well, I'm going to tell you how, but first, let's talk about why the market always goes up. There are two reasons. The first is that the market is self-cleansing. Now, what does this mean? You have to think about how many companies there are that are publicly traded in the United States. About 3,600. And you got to think about the quality of those companies along a bell curve. You're going to have the majority of the companies do okay. The companies in the middle. You know, maybe they'll make you a little bit of money, maybe they'll lose you a little bit of money. Maybe they start out at a value of 100, and some go up to 120, some go down to 80. You're going to have a few companies over on the left that are going to do terribly. A few companies are going to lose all of their value. Let's say they start at 100, they go all the way down to 0. You're also going to have a few companies all the way over on the right that are going to do really, really well. Companies that are going to double, triple, quadruple in value. Companies like Apple, Netflix, Tesla. Now, what happens when a company hits 0 is it is cycled out of the stock market. You can no longer invest in it. It's gone. And there's a finite amount that a company can lose, because you can't have a stock worth less than 0. It can go from 100 to 0, but it can't go less than that. But there is no finite amount that a company can go up in value. It can go from 100 to 200, 300, 400, more. And because whenever a company hits 0, it is cycled out, and the companies that are doing well continue to go up in value with no limit, it creates a strong upward trend in the market where over time it is pulled up. The second reason the market always goes up is because when you're invested in a company, you are invested in a living, breathing company, one where people are working hard every single day, carrying out their dreams, dedicating their lives to this, and you're just providing the money to allow them to do that. So why do most people lose money? There are also two reasons. The first reason is that we panic and sell when times are tough and buy when the market is soaring. We've all heard the phrase, buy low and sell high. But it's not that simple, because as humans, we are trained to move in packs. We buy and sell together. We buy when we're all confident and we're all feeling good, and we sell when we're scared. You see, the time when you're meant to buy is when it's 2008 and you're afraid of losing your job and your house has gone down in value and everyone is telling you that the world is ending. That's when you're meant to buy. And you're meant to sell when it's 2007 and everything is going great and your house has gone up in value and everyone is telling you to buy, buy, buy. That's when you're meant to sell. If you look at this graph, this is called the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It tracks some of the biggest companies in the United States, and this is a 100-year time period. At the bottom left, it starts at 50, and it goes up to 25,000. Now when you look at this, when it over 100 years is increased in value from 50 to 25,000, how can anyone lose money? It's because they buy and sell. They try to time the market. They try to get in when it's good and out when it's bad, instead of just riding the waves. Now the second reason people lose money is because we think that we can pick stocks. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not Warren Buffett. I can't pick stocks. I'm also going to be honest and say that the majority of us out here can't either. We all think we can recognize the next Apple, the next Netflix, the next Tesla before everyone else does. And we'll just invest in those companies, right? I recently saw an article that was republished from 20 years ago telling everyone to sell their Apple stock now. The company is going to go bankrupt, it's under bad management, they have bad production. Well, last year Apple was valued at over $1 trillion. Everyone thinks that they can pick individual stocks, but it's a lot harder than you think. Now, here's what you should do. To take advantage of the upward trend in the market without succumbing to the emotion and picking individual stocks. You buy and hold index funds. I'm going to repeat that again. Buy and hold index funds. And then number two, over time, you gradually shift your money into bonds. That's it. 2 steps. It's pretty simple. So, what is an index fund? What are bonds? Well, an index fund is where instead of buying individual stocks, you will pool your money with other investors, and together you will invest in a wide range of stocks. And bonds are where instead of buying a share of a company, you instead lend a company or the US government money, and they pay you back with interest over time. Now, the reason why bonds are important is because stocks are volatile. They do go up and down. Over time, they always go up. But in the short run, they go up and down. So as you approach retirement, or as you approach college, or as you approach that big trip you've been saving up for, you gradually shift your money out of stocks and into bonds. Now, what are the benefits of an index fund? Why should you invest in an index fund? Well, there are 3 benefits. The first one, lower fees. If you're paying someone to manage your money, and you're paying them between 1% and 5% per year, the average return on the market is 8% per year. If you're paying them 5% to manage your money, that's over half of your gains for that year. This index fund that I invest in is 0.04% per year. A fraction of anything that any single person will charge you. The second reason, it's less risk. When you are invested in 3,600 companies, if any single one of them goes to zero, that's fine. It's expected. You're prepared for it. You're also prepared to take advantage of every single company that doubles, quadruples, goes up in value that infinite amount that is possible. You are ready to take advantage of that upward trend in the market. And finally, it's really easy. I set up my VTSAX account, which is what I invest in about 30 minutes. That's all it took, and it just runs on autopilot for life. So, the one thing that you need to know in order to be successful investing in index funds is it is about time in the market, not timing the market. I'll say that again because it's important that you know it. It is about time in the market, not timing the market. If you look at that graph again, you'll see over time the market will go up. But if you try to time it, if you try to buy at those lows and sell at those highs, you will lose money. But if you just take your time in the market and ride the wave, then you can be successful investing in index funds. Now, Fidelity is a wealth management service, and they did a study. They want to figure out which age group are the best investors. So I want to hear from you. Who do you think they found were the best age group? Shout some out. Who do you think was the best? Teenagers? Who thinks maybe older people, you know, they're wiser? You know, maybe 60 plus? I'm going to tell you, they found that the best investors were the ones who were dead. Do you know why? Because dead people can't sell their stock. They just ride the wave. All the other age groups panicked when times were tough, and they bought when the market was soaring. But dead people just rode the wave and took advantage of that growth potential. Now, here's the specific plan. Here's what you can do this Saturday afternoon. Here's what you can do to set up your investing account. First, you got to open an account with Vanguard. Vanguard is the oldest company in this field of index funds. They're the best. They have the lowest fees and the best options. The second thing you need to do is you need to invest in an index fund. There's a lot of different ones you can choose from. The one that I recommend is VTSAX. It invests in all 3,600 companies in the US stock market. The third thing you need to do is continue to invest on a pre-planned schedule. You have to take the emotion out of your investing. For me, that's the 26th of every month. If the market is up 30% that day, I still invest that day. If it's down 20%, I still invest that day. Every month, the same amount, the same day. Next, you have to let compounding do its work. And this is the most important thing for all the young people here today. Compounding interest is real, and it allows your investments to grow exponentially over time. Because there are two ways you make money in the stock market. The first way is you buy a company at a certain value, it increases in value, and then you sell it. The second way is dividends. When the company is profitable, they will give some of those profits to the investors. When you're setting up your index fund, you'll have the option of reinvesting those dividends. If you do that, the dividends you reinvest go on to earn dividends. And those dividends that you reinvest go on to earn more dividends. And so over time, what you get is exponential growth because the money you made continues to make money. The next thing you need to do is gradually shift your money into bonds on a pre-planned schedule, not based on emotion. So as you approach whatever you've been saving up for, you gradually shift your money into less volatile bonds. And you can do that through Vanguard as well. And then finally, you retire a millionaire, because that's the goal, at least for me, right? And how can you do that? Well, $1 a day into VTSAX with average returns is $1 million in 65 years. Okay? And you might think 65 years, that's a long time. I don't have that time to wait. And I'm going to tell you, it's just $1 a day, and you're not doing anything. It's passive. It happens without you having to look at it, to update it. You put it in, and you forget about it. Okay. Now, the most important thing that I want everyone here to take away from this is compound interest. Your investments grow exponentially over time. Over half of that $1 million that I talked about was made in the last 10 years. Okay? It grows exponentially over time. The money that you make now will make money in the future. So it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 16, 15. If you put money in now, as it grows, it will continue to make money over time and grow exponentially. Now, everything that I've told you today, I learned from J.L. Collins. He was a financial advisor for 20, 30 years, and he wrote a series of letters to his daughter when she turned 18, stuff she should know about the world of finance. Some friends of his saw the letters and said that he should publish them on a blog, so he did. And he talked all about the easy, simple way of investing with index funds. And I highly, highly, highly suggest you go to jlcollinsnh.com, have a read for yourself, because am I qualified to give you any of this information? Probably not. And please don't, I can't guarantee any results. This has worked for me, but I can't guarantee any results. Please don't sue me if you lose money. But take the afternoon, no matter how old you are, no matter how close you are to retirement. Maybe you've already retired, maybe you haven't started investing, maybe you don't even have any money in your bank account. But just go and learn. Spend an afternoon, read some, change your mindset about what's possible with the stock market. Thank you very much.